A little more than 35,000 fans came out to Williams-Brice this past Saturday for Carolina's annual Garnet and Black Spring game. Quarterback Brendan Nosevich put the Garnet team ahead about halfway through the first quarter with a 23-yard touchdown pass to wideout Jarrell Adams. But Dylan Thompson responded quickly, hitting Shaq Rowland 6 yards out to put the Black team on the board. And with about a minute 30 left in the first quarter, Mike Davis busted out a 25-yard run for a touchdown, putting the Black team ahead 14-10. Davis was later told he was named the starting running back for the upcoming season. With about a minute left in the second quarter, redshirt freshman quarterback Connor Mitch lobs a 59-yard pass down the field to Jarrell Adams, who would have his second touchdown of the day, and after a field goal for each team, the score was 27-23 Black, headed into halftime. With 5 minutes left in the third, tight end Jeff Homid snags a 12-yard pass from Brendan Nosevich, putting the Garnet team back on top. And of course, that young man cannot sit out for an entire game. Jadeveon Clowney comes off of the sideline to catch a touchdown pass from Brendan Nosevich, slips and falls before he gets into the end zone, and then of course, tosses the pigskin into the crowd, and fans love J.D. Clowney here at Carolina for a reason. The Black team would go on to win the game by a score of 44-30. For Capital City Sports, I'm Alyssa Lang. Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Capital City Sports. My name is Alyssa Lang. Joining me, Jeremy Urso. We're going to start this week's boardroom off by talking about a little bit of Garnet Black spring game action. Jeremy and I were both there. We're going to talk about the highlights, maybe some lowlights, but Jeremy, what should we start with?
Well, to start with, the story coming into the game, it seemed like every news organization was all concerned about Clowney and his sprained neck and him not playing.
As always.
Yes, and the story coming out was still Jadeveon Clowney, even though he didn't play in the game.
Well, technically. But we'll get to that later.
Yes. But anyway, another thing, back to the game itself, our quarterbacks, they threw for a total over 500 passing yards, which I think is pretty impressive.
It's pretty good for a spring game.
Yes, it is. Connor Mitch had a 59-yard long pass to, I believe it was Jarrell Adams.
For a touchdown.
Yes, for a touchdown. Also, Mike Davis in the press conference, which was his first press conference, I believe.
Yes.
He says that he has the starting job as starting running back for the University of South Carolina, so congratulations to Mike Davis.
He had a couple good runs in the game, too.
Yes, he did.
He definitely looked like he had earned that position.
Yes, he did. The Black team, their rushing game was pretty impressive, if I can get the stat out. I believe that they rushed for over 100 yards, 149 to be exact. So, yes, very good for the rushing team, unlike the Garnet team, which only had a net rushing game of 12 yards.
Oh,
so
wow.
Do you see the difference there?
That's one play for Marcus Lattimore.
Yeah, probably. Another interesting thing that Mike Davis discussed something that we didn't really talk about last season. He talked about his relationship with Marcus Lattimore.
Right.
And that he said he was sort of like a brother, a very great mentor, and that he's done so much with helping him becoming a better player.
Now, was there any particular player that stood out to you as perhaps, well, next season he might carry the team, not Jadeveon Clowney, though?
Honestly, no.
Unfortunately,
everybody had their moment. Everybody had a little bit of playing time. Nobody was a shining star, except for Jadeveon Clowney with his play.
Let's talk about that. Let's go ahead and talk about Jadeveon Clowney's play. So, Jeremy, you got the play.
Yes, I got the shot.
You were one of the very few media members who was still shooting this game at this point when Clowney kind of went running by all the press members, and we were all like, what's happening? And then what happened?
Well, he ran off the sideline onto the field and caught a very long touchdown pass, but he fell on his butt.
From Nosevich.
Yes, from Nosevich. Oh no, I thought it was from Connor Mitch.
Well, We'll check a highlight.
Yes, we will. We will check the highlight. But it was from one of them. And so right when he caught the ball, he slid and fell, and it was pretty hilarious. And after he scored the touchdown, he threw the ball into the stands. Does that sound familiar a little bit from last game?
Very familiar.
And but the crowd loved it. It really got the crowd on their feet. And just Jadeveon, just his character, I really think that he's going to be probably the most popular player next season on the football team. I think he's even going to be more popular than Manti Te'o for obvious reasons. And we don't need to go into detail about that.
I wonder if Jadeveon actually has a girlfriend, though.
Maybe his girlfriend is a robot. Maybe.
That would be the newest scandal here at South Carolina, a robotic
girlfriend
partner.
Yes.
Well,
but anyway, he's such a great inspiration, not only to his teammates, but to his fans. When I was filming the game with you, I heard a bunch of little kids saying, Jadeveon, come over here, sign my program, Clowney. I heard
incessantly.
chants, yes, from the start of the game to the end of the game. And he's just a very great role model, and it's just such a great inspiration. It really makes, it just makes my heart feel very good and warm inside.
Well, good. He's only an official Gamecock for another 9 months.
Yes.
Which is a little disappointing, but he is definitely loved by fans, and that is an understatement here at Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there anything else you would like to add about the spring game? Go ahead, Jeremy.
Well, yes. Well, it's not about the spring game itself. It's about the start of next season. The first game that we play officially in the regular season is against UNC Chapel Hill. Now, I know it's very early, but do you have any score predictions? I know this is your favorite part of the segment.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Gamecocks are going to win handily, and that is not just because I was grown to have a little bit of a rivalry towards Chapel Hill, but I'm just not quite sure that Chapel Hill is quite up to the football program standards that South Carolina is. So I would say it's going to be a good opening game for the Gamecocks. I'm going to go ahead and predict 35-15.
Okay, I actually have a very similar score. I'm going to predict 33-17.
Very close.
University of South Carolina getting the win over the Tar Heels.
All right, well, there you have it. Join us in the next segment of Boardroom. We will talk about Gamecock softball.
The flags were at half-mast at Carolina Stadium to honor those affected by the tragedy at the Boston Marathon on Monday, as the Gamecocks took on the College of Charleston, USC looking to bounce back from a weekend series sweep at Florida. This game got off to a quick start. Here in the top of the first, with runners on second and third, Forrest Kumis gets Ben Boinking looking to end the frame. In the bottom of the first, it's L.B. Dancer with a line drive into left center field. Chase Ferguson would cross the plate to score. Carolina up 1-0. Forrest Kumis cruised through the second inning. Here he strikes out Ryan Welke to end it. In Carolina's half of the frame, here it's Connor Bright with the drive deep to left and gone. That blast would plate 2. He had 3 RBIs on the day. Later in the inning, it's Joey Pancake with the deep fly ball to center field. This would eventually turn out to be a sac fly, scoring Tanner English. L.B. Dancer would plate another, Carolina up 5-0. The Cougars would retaliate in the third. Here it's Gunnar Height with the single into left, scoring Devin Reed. And that would not be all for the Cougars. The next batter was Brendan Murray, and he laces this line drive into left center field. That would get down for a double, bringing in Carl Wise. Then a few batters later, it's Cody Martin into right center. This line drive would plate Murray to cut the Gamecock lead to just 1 at a score of 5-4. But the Gamecocks would come back with a few runs of their own right away. Here it's Connor Bright with a double into left center field. This ball would drive home Max Schrock. A few batters later, it's a base hit into center field off the bat of Graham Psycho, scoring Connor Bright. Psycho had a pair of RBIs himself on the day, 7-4 Gamecocks. We go to the 6th inning now, and with a runner on board, it's Joey Pancake with the deep fly ball to left and gone. A 2-run home run. Gamecocks up 9-4 at this point. Adam Westmoreland on in relief. Here he strikes out Devin Reed to end the 8th inning. Then, in the bottom of the 8th, leading off is Graham Psycho, and he deposits the hanging curveball way over the left field wall for a solo home run. Gamecocks up big at this point, and they would not look back. Colby Holmes on to close this one. Here he strikes out Carl Wise swinging, and then a few batters later, he gets Ben Boyking looking to end the game. South Carolina takes this one by a score of 10-6, a great way to bounce back from the Florida series. They look to take on Kentucky at home this weekend. From Carolina Stadium, this is Pat Cloney, Capital City Sports.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the boardroom. My name is Jeremy Urso, joined by the better looking of the two, Alyssa Lang.
Oh, stop.
Anyway, so, softball. We took on Georgia in the last series. Did we win?
Unfortunately, we did not.
Oh,
we
that's
lost
a shame. That's a
for
shame.
the second weekend
oh, well.
in a row. But, you know, Georgia is the top hitting team in the SEC. And, you know, our South Carolina lady Gamecock softball team, is just kind of mediocre in SEC play. So, you know, we weren't really expecting to come out and upset Georgia. You know, they were able to keep them just to 2 runs. So that's pretty impressive, you know, the top hitting team in the SEC. But unfortunately, they were not able to pull out the win. Maybe on Tuesday they play Presbyterian College. Maybe they'll be able to get a little confidence booster with that.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, so the next series against Presbyterian, hopefully we can pull out a win. But what do we need to work on to start winning more games, especially in the SEC?
Maybe they should practice more.
Okay, I agree with that.
They should score more runs, and they should let the other team score less runs.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
That's going to be it for me for softball.
All right. Well, best of luck to the softball team against their series against Presbyterian. We bring it back to you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our last segment of the boardroom for this week. We are here talking about men's tennis, and Jeremy, who did the men's tennis team take on this past weekend?
We took on number 8 Kentucky.
And how did we do?
We won 4-3, and it was senior day. It was a Sunday game in the afternoon, and our senior, Harry Menzies, it was tied 3-all. The game came down to him. It went 3 sets, and he pulled it out in the 3rd set, 7-5.
Awesome.
On senior day, he's the team's only senior.
Really? Where's he from?
Guess.
From, let me see, somewhere in North Carolina.
Yes, from Charlotte, North Carolina.
We are both from Charlotte, North Carolina, so shout out to the 704.
Yes.
Right?
Anyway, so regular season play has now ended for the Gamecocks. I think we went 7-5 in the SEC. We have the most SEC wins since 1999.
Wow, impressive.
Yes, so our tennis team really made some great improvements. We have a great coach, we have a young team, a lot of sophomores, some juniors, so I think we're going to be good for a pretty long time.
Well, that's good to hear.
It
is there anything else you would like to add from this past weekend?
Other than that, your dress is very beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jeremy.
You're very welcome.
I appreciate that.
Well, yes, but there is one more thing that I would like to add. South Carolina, we begin the SEC tournament this Wednesday. Well, the SEC tournament begins this Wednesday, and we play on Thursday.
For men's tennis?
For men's tennis against LSU. I'm not sure when the women's tennis SEC tournament begins. I think it's around the same time, maybe the same date. I'm not sure. But I know men's tennis, we play LSU, on Thursday.
All right, well, be sure to come out and support your Gamecocks against the Tigers, right? SEC rivalry there.
I don't know where the game is being played, but
yes.
Oh,
it might not be at home, so check on that.
But no matter where you are, support your Gamecocks. It's always great to support your Gamecocks, no matter what team, no matter where they are, support your Gamecocks.
This is very true. You heard it here first from Mr. Finish This Match himself.
Hashtag finish this match. And an interesting thing, one more thing, all the matches this past Sunday were completed. So hey,
They're listening to you.
yes, they actually are. They actually are.
Well, again, be sure to follow Jeremy's hashtag. Finish. Go ahead.
At I'm so Urso. Hashtag, you say it.
Finish this match.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that will do it for this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV and search us and like us on Facebook by searching CCS on SGTV. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week.
DJ Nash.